Today we're going to be drawing some baby penguins inspired by the book, The Second Sky, and we're going to be using simple shapes to draw penguins. We're going to be drawing this twice, so we're going to do one penguin on the front and then another penguin on the back. So the first one we're drawing, think of it like your practice drawing. If you mess up or it's not quite right, don't stop and spend lots of time erasing, just keep going because we're going to redo it again on the back. I also don't want to write my name just yet because I don't know which side I'm going to end up using. When you're drawing, you want to draw lightly so that if you need to erase later, you can. So sometimes instead of holding my pencil really close to the tip, I kind of back my hand up a little bit and it helps me to draw a little bit looser. I'm going to start, my paper is vertical. I'm going to start near the top and I'm going to draw kind of a nice big circle. Remember, if yours is a little bit smaller or bigger than mine, that is totally fine. Next, I'm going to start at the edge of the circle and I'm going to come down, out a little bit, around, and back up to the circle. If it's not the exact same as mine, it is totally fine. Next, we're going to draw the wing. So I'm going to start up here kind of next to the head. I'm going to draw a straight line that kind of comes down and out, and then it just comes right back to the body. I'll do the same thing on the other side. So I start at the head, come down and out, and bring it back to the body. Next, we're going to draw the feet. So coming to the bottom of the body, you're going to draw a curved line out. Then you do a zigzag line, kind of like a W, so up and down and up and down. It's kind of like an M actually. I'm going to curve it back up to the top of the body. I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to come down, a zigzag line that goes up, down, and then connect it back to the body. If your toes have a couple extra zigzags, that is totally fine. Next, we're going to go into the face. I'm going to start by drawing two eyes. I'm just going to put kind of two small little dots. In between these dots, I'm going to draw a line. And then I'm going to make it into an upside down triangle, so kind of like a V that comes down from that line. That's the top beak. So I'm going to start again at the triangle and come a little bit lower and just do another V that's kind of going under that very first one. Now I'm going to draw that little black detail on its head. So I'm actually going to start at the edge of the beak and I'm going to come up and over the eye and bring it down till I touch the circle. Same thing on the other side. Start at the beak, up and over the eye and down towards the circle. The last thing I want to do is I want to draw the horizon line, which is the line that separates the ground from the sky. So I'm going to start at the edge of my paper. You can go a little bit higher or a little bit lower. And I'm going to draw, and when I hit my penguin, I stop. I pretend to draw through it so that I know where it should come out on the other side, and I continue it off the edge of my paper. This is our first drawing. If there's something you want to change, you can do it in a minute, but we're going to do another drawing on the back. So you're going to flip that paper over and we are going to repeat the same steps. Now what's interesting is that we can use those same basic shapes and we can make some slight changes, like maybe this time instead of his wings being down, maybe one of his wings are up and one is down, or maybe they're both up. Maybe one of the feet is kind of coming up in the front of his body like he's lifting a foot up. So we can create very small changes to create kind of a different movement on our penguin. You do not have to copy me exactly with this penguin. I'm gonna walk you through kind of the first basic steps, and then we can talk about how we might change it. If you feel like you drew your head too small last time or too big, then now's a good time to kind of make an adjustment. I'm gonna start near the top. I'm drawing kind of a nice, big, but not too big of a circle. To draw the body shape, I'm gonna start at the head and kind of come down, out a little bit, and back up to the top. Baby penguins are a little chubby, so it's okay, you're just kind of chubby. Last time I started here and came down and back to the body, that makes it look like the wing is down. If you want your wings to be up, you could start at the head, come down a little bit and curve your line back up. And then you could start at the end and just bring the line kind of back down to the body. So if you like something kind of like that, you can do that. If you'd rather do it the way you did it the first time, or you just start at the top and come back to the body, that's fine too. I'm gonna also make this wing be up. So I'm gonna start here and kind of just come up a little bit. And then just bring that line back down to the body. I'm gonna go down and do the feet, and again, I could do them the exact same way as last time, or I could change it up a little bit. So starting here, I might do one foot that's down, so I kind of bring a line down, do a zigzag line, and bring it back to the body. If you want it to look like its foot is pointing up, you can bring the line up into his body, or her body. Do that zigzag line, and then bring it down to the body. Now we're gonna go back and just finish that face. So again, you just put 2 small dots for the eyes. A line across the middle for the beak. Looks kind of weird right now. And a V to kind of make it into an upside down triangle. Another V that starts at the same corner and comes down a little bit further, kind of making the bottom part of its beak. And then you're going to start at the top corner of the triangle, and you're going to come up and over the eye and down to the head. And same thing here, up and over the eye and down to the head. Now remember that if you draw something and I'm like, you know what, this wing looks kind of funky, I can always take my eraser if I drew nice and light, and I can kind of erase and just make very slight changes. Maybe this line down here isn't bad, maybe this one was just a little bit too curved. That's kind of too fat. So again, I can kind of adjust. The whole rest of the penguin looks fine, but it's maybe just this one little part that I'm not happy with. So I can make some small little adjustments to fix things. I also don't want to forget that ground line. If I draw the line underneath the penguin, it kind of looks like it's jumping. So you can decide if you want your penguin to be on the ground or above the ground. And this one kind of goes at a diagonal, so it's like a little hill. So I could draw one where he's kind of coming down the hill perhaps. Once you're finished drawing both of your penguins, then you have a choice to make. You are only going to be using one of these penguins as your final. So again, if you need to make some small adjustments and fix parts you aren't happy with, that's fine. But then you're gonna have to pick one that is your favorite. If I like this one the best, then this is my front side. So I'm going to flip my paper over, and on the back, I'm going to write my name and my class code. Once I've picked the side that is my favorite, that's the front, and I'm gonna be using a Sharpie to trace over all of my pencil lines. I don't want to do Sharpie on both sides, or it's going to end up bleeding through and I'll be able to see it from the back. So I'm only doing my best one. Once you're done Sharpieing over all of your pencil lines, sometimes kids take an eraser and you can actually just erase kind of over all of your Sharpie, and it cleans up any of the pencil lines that you didn't cover with your Sharpie. There is one more thing we're going to do. There are two parts that you are going to color in solid with Sharpie. That is the feet, and you're also coloring in kind of this top section around its head. So I'm going to go back, and with a Sharpie, I'm trying to be very neat when I'm coloring in these parts here. If you have a Sharpie that seems like when you're coloring, it's just not very dark black, it looks kind of scratchy. Mine sounds scratchy, but the color is fine. Then you can just let me know and I will get you a better Sharpie, because you really want these lines to be nice and dark black. So take your time, go back and color in the feet as well as the top part of the head. Once you are finished tracing over everything in Sharpie, we'll just put these into our table folder. Remember that you're only doing Sharpie on one side because that Sharpie is going to bleed through. So you don't want to do it on both sides. Just your best penguin, that is the one that you are tracing with Sharpie.